Four. So these are four of the most common like anti-African sentiments we hear being expressed by some of our brothers and sisters. The first one is Black people in America are not African and have no connection to Africa. We're Native Black Americans. That's one. The second one is Black people in America may be genetically African, but so is the entire planet. Everybody on Earth is African. That's two. The third one is African people on the continent don't refer to themselves as Africans. We're the only ones who call ourselves Africans. That's three. And the fourth one is Black Americans are the only ones who practice Pan-Africanism. Those are the four most common kind of like retorts that we hear. And they always say, well, Baba James Smalls agrees with us. Like,
well, Baba James Smalls is going to tell him, I don't agree to none of that shit I just heard. Because none of it makes sense. And it alludes to the ignorance of not knowing your history. You know, it alludes to the fact that you don't realize that Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Nyeri were all at the Pan-African Conference in Manchester. And when they all walked away from that conference, they led some of the most fierce revolutions on the continent of Africa based on Pan-Africanism. That we got defeated in many sectors by the enemy at the ideological level. We won at the physical base ground level. We got our land back. We got political independence back. We're still fighting for economic, cultural, and intellectual independence from these people. What is so sad, and normally if you ever see me lecture, I got one or two books. Whatever subject I'm talking about, I got a book, because y'all need to read, you know, because if you don't know history, how are you going to lead anybody politically? That's the sad part about many of the young people. They don't know history. This thing, I'm from South Carolina. I'm from a population that was here in this country before the Mongolians came to this country, an African population. I know who they are. I grew up attending their grave, the monks where they bury themselves, because our grandfather made sure we cleaned them every year. I'm also from a population that came in later on with chains on them from Sierra Leone and with chains on them from Uganda. And I know them. These are my great-great-grandparents. I'm only the fourth generation born. Mama first, Ning second. I'm the third generation African born in this country. From those Sierra Leonean Mende people I'm from those Tutsi people I'm from in Uganda. And I've been out and found my family. So, and for those people who had come by the boats into the Bahamas, into what is Haiti, and made it up through Florida to North America before the Mongolians came across the Bering Strait, they're the same people. They came from the same Sierra Leone, the same Ghana, the same, you understand? The Malian people who came in between those two episodes came from the same West African kingdoms.
Yes.
So I don't understand where their brains are when they say, I'm not an African. And all this tells me that self-hate, self-ignorance, lack of understanding of African history and of history in general are what we are dealing with people who have taken some, what do you call it?
Wait. Before you go that far, there's nothing wrong with our brains, all right? You're not going to pin and paste the term African on us in America. You're not going to do that, period. Just like you don't have the balls or the audacity to try to pin that term on anybody from the Caribbean, Haitians, or anybody from the continent African. When you see a Nigeria, you're not going to say, hey, my African Nigerian. You're not going to say, hey, my African Ghanaian or my African Somalian. You're not. You know, you're going to say, hey, what's up, and whatever. Or you from Somalia? That's what's up. You're not going to say, hey, so you're African Somalian. They're going to be like, okay, what are you trying to get at? Like, no, I'm Somalian. So you're not going to pin us with that word African either. That's not going to fly. Okay? You can call yourself African all day long, and you'll be the only fool in America, in the world, calling yourself just flat out African without a country attached to it. Okay? And nobody else does that, by the way. And which he's going to come back later on to say it himself. So everything he's saying right now when Tariq Nasheed pulls up on him, he's going to backtrack everything. Watch.
Clips,
Yeah.
Little sound bites from the internet, and now they've become historians and political leaders because they can get a bunch of people to, when you push the little button for them, subscribe.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's insanity. That's why you see me out here, because I didn't do a lot of stuff on the internet. Or brother says snippets. I like that even better. Okay, snippets. Because I was very quiet for a while. And then I go like, I can't stay quiet. So in the last year and a half, I've just been out here trying to teach as much as I can. And everything has to go back to the history.
And let me just point out, all this, I'm trying to teach as much as I can. Like, stop with this teaching bullshit. Like, everybody's a teacher. Everybody's just so exhausted from teaching. Bro, you're teaching who's listening and who's applying it. Like, where are your students that you could point to? Where are your students at in the diaspora? Where are your students that's at the continent Africa that you could say, those are my students? Like, why everybody's a teacher with no students? You know, you could tell a tree by its fruit. Where are your students? We could look at them and say, yeah, he's been teaching. Yeah, this dude been talking. He's not been teaching. He's been talking for what, 30 years? And this guy is relatively unknown. Like, the biggest he ever got was when he was invited into the Hidden Color series. That was when his name finally started circulating amongst, you know, everyday people. That was considered woke at the time. It did, but his own works, his own merits, the dude went really invisible his whole life. Let's just be honest. His whole life he went invisible. And Sanet is another one who helped bring his name out. But without Sanet, I wouldn't know who he was. And without Tariq Nasheed, none of y'all would know who he was. But he's just been teaching for so long. Like, dude, teaching that long, we need to see the product. What is the end? What is the product you produce? It's not teaching if it's going on deaf ears. I'm getting tired of this term teaching. These free, volunteer, non-paid teachers, like, stop.
Yes, we were the first. We're the Aborigine everywhere in the world. Hell, we're the Aborigine in Europe. We're the Aborigine in China. But the people who we're talking about, that because they see us as the epitome of the people, we have no welcoming wagon for them. So if the enemy takes ourselves because we want to get you on your feet and get started, well, we died and starved to death. Yet melanin is essential to that into something better than what the white man has created you to be. You're going to give me the white slop and then give it a name like Foundation of Black America. Don't label me with slop. Now, if you
okay, so slop is the white man's, well, I don't even know what that means. But slop is Foundation of Black Americans, but non-slop is African. Like, what makes Foundation of Black American slop? And what makes African, I guess, American? What makes that non-slop? Because if you ask this guy, elder, everybody's an elder when they get old, Elder James Small, if you ask him, hey, are you a Black American? He's going to say yes. Well, are you part of the lineage that founded this country or helped found this country? He's going to say yes. Or I think it's like, okay, well, aren't you a foundational Black American? He's going to be like, yeah. Okay, I thought that was the white man's slot. You already call yourself Black American, and now we're just honing in on, okay, how this country came to be. We're honing in who is responsible. Better yet, we're zeroing in on who was directly responsible for shaping this country to the shape it's in right now. Okay, that's all. Because a lot of people live here now, but they were not the early birds here to help form and shape this country to where it's at now. These guys came after it was popping, flourishing, providing jobs. They were not here when jobs wasn't popping. Okay, so that's all we're saying. We're giving credit. You know how they say give people flowers while they're alive? We hear the saying, give people flowers while they are alive. So we're giving ourselves flowers while we're alive. But these folks acting like, nah, we'll wait till you're dead. We'll wait until you're dead. Like they're literally not giving us our flowers while we're alive. And it's always we're being divisive. We're being divisive because we is telling the world and ourselves, forget about the world. We're telling ourselves because we're unaware of our part in building this nation. We're foundation of Black Americans. We're not the most educated in Black American history. Like we're distracted by so many things. So we're really just teaching our own. Like, hey, you know you're a foundational Black American. Like you're not just a Black American, you're a foundational Black American. What does that mean? Okay, when the country, blah, 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 blah. And it resonates right away because it's just true. You don't got to sell it to somebody. You ain't got to tell somebody that they're from this tribe or they're from this place in Mecca or they're the original Egyptian. This is not a sell pitch. It's saying, yeah, you founded this country, therefore you're more than just a regular Black American. You are a foundational Black American. In other words, you got stake in this country. You got ownership in this country. That's all that means. What's so divisive about that? And what's so slopped about that, Mr. Elder James?
Use that because you're trying to find an identity. I'll help you with that. Because you deserve to have your own identity, like everybody.
Yes.
But don't bring the same white slop along saying you're anti-African, you're not African, you're not from Africa.
Okay, so it's not making sense. He's saying we need to identify ourselves, but don't take the white man's slop. He never explained that. And then he said by saying, so taking the white man's slop, I'm guessing, I'm putting 2 to 2, right? So I'm guessing taking the white man's slop is in Elder James Small mind. Taking the white man's slop has nothing to do with, well, I don't know. Taking the white man's slop must means like we're borrowing the rhetoric that we're not African. I don't know. I'm lost because the white man calls us African, right? We're separate from Africa. So I don't even know where he's going. But bro, we've clearly said it over and over and over and over and over. We're not denying the African in us or the Black. The race part, we're not denying the race. African, whatever, West African, and Black. We're not denying it. Matter of fact, Black is in the name. We are emphasizing our distinctive ethnic identifier. We're Black like everybody else. We're African like everybody else. But what makes us not like everybody else and what makes them not like us is that we're FBAs. And some would say freedmen or free people. And some would say ADOS. All of those are saying all of those who call themselves Black and African are not like us. We are this type of African. We are this type of Black person, all right? So African DNA-wise, biology-wise, yes. But as far as history, culture, language, and things like that, no, sir. No, sir. There's not one thing African about me. Even to a large part, our biology, right, the way we're made up, we are mixed with a whole bunch of stuff. That's not how Africans are built. If a Nigerian does a DNA test, he's going to be 97.9 Nigerian. If a Somalian or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, they're going to be 90 to at the minimum 80% where they're from. Ain't nobody over in America is going to be 90% Nigerian, 90% Somalian, or these weak countries. We're going to be 10% this person, 15% that African country, 10%, 5%, a whole bunch of them that just going to equal a large percentage of which was called African. But we're not one of those countries. We're not made up in a large percentage of any one of those countries by themselves. So we're literally none of you guys. Like we are a new type of people based off the ethnogenesis that happened with us. And that's okay, because that happened with everybody else. The Mexicans, the Spaniards, the Native Americans, ethnogenesis. Now they're Mexicans. Now they're Mexicans. And we know about the Caribbean, all right, and Haiti. Let's move on.
Because that's the white slop that they've been trying to push in our brain from day one. Throw that slop out, empty and wash your bucket, and let us bring some real black stuff up in there. Let's talk about Mount Delaney. Let's talk about...
Hey, yeah, what's all this Baba stuff? He's Baba. Umar is Papa. Like, what's up with these names? Baba, Papa, Shaka. All right. I mean, I gotta throw rocks back. I used to have rock fights when I was young. Like I know how to throw rocks back. And you know what starts off a rock fight? What starts off a rock fight? When somebody throw a rock at you, you throw one back, and it's all out war.
Book of Washington. Let's talk about Ida B. Wells. Let's talk about Harriet Tubman. Let's talk about Sojourner Truth. Go back in our history. Every organization that we formed from the 1700s forward was called the African something. Every damn one. Prince Hall,
African Masons,
Free African Lodge, 1749 or someplace up there. Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, the African Methodist Church, the Black Baptist Movement, the African Baptist Church. This is all back in the 1700s, okay? By the time we hit the 1792, Malcolm didn't invite the Afro-American nothing. In 1892, a group of Black women out of Rochester, New York, formed the Afro-American League.
Now, you notice how they consistently skip the colored things, right? Where we call ourselves colors. Look at the UNIA. That's literally called the Universal Negro. Negro, the word Negro's there. How come Marcus Garvey, how come your leader didn't use African? Okay, why did he use UNIA? And that A doesn't stand for African. Why does the N stand for Negro? So Professor Smalls is so right, and he's so black. Well, isn't Negro slop? Isn't the word Negro slop from the white man? So why did Marcus Garvey, okay, so you said the term African was back in the 1700s, an Afro. Well, why didn't your leader, Marcus Garvey, use Afro or African? Why did he say the Negro? The Negro. Why did he use Negro? Is Negro white man slop? So they just pick and choose. This is why I cook them. I invite them on. As you see, I play my replay debates all the time. Straight, no edits, nothing, straight raw. Okay. And we cooking these guys, freestyling, winging it, learning on the job. And they never come back, by the way. Not which one came back? Stu P is the only retarded one to come back. But because they ain't got no sense. But Negro. You see how they're not unbiased. Like, they are respected persons. Yo, why you ain't get on Garvey for using Negro? He didn't use the 1700 term African or Afro, but listen to this old man.
Headed by T. Thomas Fortune. Okay. We had the United African Societies. This is all in the 1800s. So they need to study some history.
Yeah.
We never stop identifying ourselves as African. Not one moment, not one day, not 1 hour. You know? And so I understand the hurt that some of them feel, but a lot of this hurt is out of the ignorance. Our brothers and sisters.
Actually, there's no hurt over here. You don't hear us saying the white man's the devil like you did earlier. I fast forwarded, but this guy is talking to all of them, all the black masters, the black power people, the white man, the white man. We don't say that. We focus on white supremacy, a system. When you focus on an individual, what does that do? He dies, he get locked up, he quits, he resigns, and the system keep going. So yeah, we don't focus on a white man, one guy. The white, that's all they do. The white man, that's what you guys are hurt. All we screaming is cut the check. Y'all be talking that Yaku, the white man, the devil BS. That's all they chant. The enemy. That ain't how we talk. We don't be saying the enemy. The hell you talking about? All we saying is cut the check.
Sisters from the continent is being murdered and killed by the same cat on Wall Street that's murdering and killing us.
Yes.
They're just doing it long distance or got some surrogates. They have impoverished them.
Oh, by the way, does anybody want the phone number? If you agree with Baba, what's that stand for? So you got the FBAs, you got ADOS, and you got Papa, the Prince of Pan African, and you got Baba. What does Baba stand for? But yeah, man, if you agree with this guy and you want to defend his talking points and you think FBAs are wrong, ask for the phone number. I ain't got all night. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe got 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, hear you out, rebuttal, and we can just hang up. But yeah, so you want the phone number. If you defend what this elder is saying, just ask for the phone number.
Just as they have impoverished us. All the Europeans and others stepping off of a boat every day as immigrants, you got no issue with them. But you got an issue with your brother and sister who's trying to survive and come and wake and make a little bit of money and send back home to keep his mama.
Hold on. Bro, the issue started when we said reparations just for ADOS. That's when the issue started with you guys. You had your hand out. Like, nah, we were on a slave ships too. We just got dropped off over here in Barbados. Exactly. So you need to go holler at them. You ain't get off on this bus stop over here, on this porch, this dock. You got dropped off over there. And they got more money. So yeah, go holler at them. They had their hand out first. And then the CARICOM came out, they was like, oh nah, we good. And we like, hey, they like, no, you ain't getting none of our stuff, nigga. Yeah, so he's acting like one day we just woke up like, yo, immigrants gotta go. That's not what happened. We like opened our eyes because we see that most of the hate we're getting, and when you hear people speak against us, you see the DJ Academics, the Qs, all these folks of color, African, Black, right, got social media platforms, and they're using it to demonize us, FBAs, before the world, make us look like degenerates, make us look like them in their homelands. They're trying to make us look like themselves in our homeland, how they look in their homelands. We took a step back, like, wait a minute. Hey, a lot of good points we're making when we say, yo, we want tangibles, stuff like that. We notice the flag waving folks, the black flags, the colored flags. Like, we see y'all guys with your flags undermining and saying no, get into politics, being harder on us than anybody else, sheriff, judge. He like, wait a minute. Like, yo, yeah, that judge, man, he was hard as hell on me. What was he, white? Nah, I think he was Jamaican. So when we said that, we're like, interesting. But when we say that, that'd be like a mental note. Then it happens again when you talk to Tony, and then when social media went popping, now we could talk to everybody at one time, make a post, and folks like, yeah, damn, over here, same shit. Yeah, that dude was Nigerian. Yeah, that dude, you know what I mean? He did me dirty. Yeah, so we realized it was fake love. And we said, hey, stay over there. We said, stay over there, don't come over here. That's not hating, that's not attacking. We're saying, stay over there. That's it.
Medical bills paid, and to send his little brother and sister to school somewhere. Yes, there's a problem. He doesn't know you and you don't know him. So then that should be what our work should be about.
About what?
Yeah.
And about to reach out to one another, grab each other.
Look, he tried to talk. So we got another Umar guy. So we got another Umar type of guy that just keep talking, never be quiet. Nobody can ask a question. So he went to go say something, but because he's the elder, he got to shut up. Look at this.
Yeah.
That should be what our work should be about.
Yeah.
And about to reach out to one another, grab each other.
Look, people are stupid. And like it makes older people just like this, this Pan-Africanism BS. The reason why a bunch of old folks get into it, because it's their religion. Like they become praised because in everything else they're like ignored. So they become like the Jesus figure in these Pan-Africanist RBG movements. So Young Bull with the whole nigga named African, what's her name? Yes, with these weird African names, they got to stay quiet while he rant the whole 12 minutes. And this was, I think it was longer, but whatever it was, he ranted the whole time. They didn't get this chance to say much afterwards, after the initial questions.
To educate one another, you know? And
look, she know her place. She ain't gonna dare speak.
Can criticize each other, but let the criticism be about love and unity, not the criticism be about destruction and death of our own people.
Yeah, they're not here to usurp us. They're not this notion that everything that happens bad and black.
Oh, the clown suit. That's literally this guy right here. That's him. That's his real face right there. That's his real face right there. That is literally him. Look at this picture. Look at that picture. That's his face. I just got it with the makeup and the funny hair. But that's him. That's the same exact face.
America is a non-FBA person doing, or they're here to steal resources and
crap. I always tell folks, who was selling the dope down on the corner? Who was the hip hopper with the pants up the behind? Who was that?
It was most likely a tether. And that's another thing, Baba, for realizing that a lot of these folks who were like the most thuggish guy in the hood, busting their gun the most ratchet woman, like we're realizing, hey man, these folks weren't even FBA. This whole twerk stuff come from Carnival, the whole single parent homes, that's literally Jamaica and Nigeria. So we start to see a lot of these degenerate ways were not part of our culture until after. I want you guys to remember what I'm saying. After 1965, that's when all of these Black immigrants from all these third world countries with these horrible bad habits had came to America, came into our cities, mainly New York, Florida, and some other spotted places. But they came and they influenced. They brought that with them. Okay, they even brought the term African booty scratcher. They would call themselves that in Kingston, Jamaica. Most likely, because they were doing everything else that was wild and degenerate. So they come with all these horrible bad practices. The shatas, busting their gun and all type of wild stuff. And that was not part of our culture at all until when? Like late 70s, somewhere in the 80s, but definitely the 90s. And they came over here. Well, I can't say they was over here by the millions by like 1990. Like that's when the most of them was here. And then after that, they did a cutback. They stopped allowing them to come in bulks and, going further. But 1990s was like their peak. And that was like we were the most ratchet. So for me, 1 + 1 is 2. Like, again, you can't find none of that behavior, the single parent home, none of that stuff before 1965. None of it like that. Nothing where it was significant, where you could point at it. Right. So think about that. So when we do some crazy stuff that's embarrassing and you're like, damn, man, think about when you first start hearing about it. You're going to say, wow, that was the time when we were influenced by all these other Black immigrants who came from third world countries with these poor behaviors, these primitive, borderline savage behaviors. That's just a fact. Before 1965, you can't find it. Now watch this. You could find that. You could find that in their homeland before 1965. I already showed you with the Tutsis and the Hutus and the Nigerian people, what they did to the Ogoni people. So I could show you already. And then Liberia, I can show you already that they was practicing stuff amongst themselves way before 1965. So we could find it amongst themselves in their homeland, but you can't find it amongst us like that.
Jack, listen, I have not, and let me tell my brothers something so they get it real clear. No disrespect, my sister, because you stand
Our
again,
posse,
right?
I looked them up.
But 95% of our Black women is molested and raped by Black men right here in African America before they're 15 friggin' years old. So okay. You got.
He just made that goddamn stat up. 95%. Yeah, this dude, that's damn near every. So what he just did was he just charged every Black woman with sex assault. 95%. That's basically everybody. So he just said all. Now you talk about take a white man slop. That's white man slop. White man slop is that all of FBA women, they experience some type of promiscuous life early in their youth. This dude said 95%. Like, so now we just lying.
Got some men right here in Africa. 95% of our Black women is molested and raped by Black men right here in African America before they're 15 friggin' years old.
Okay, now you know he lying. Now we know that for a fact in Jamaica. Jamaica ain't really established something against those type of behaviors he just listed, those actions. Jamaica ain't list anything until 2011. So before 2011, like men was on some Fred Flintstone stuff, just Donald Trump said it, but they were actually doing it. Grabbing them, y'all can just, it's not hard to find. Grabbing them by the Jamaican men. Okay. Right now, their sexual offenders list is private as opposed to ours is public. We want to shame and we want to arm the public. We want the public to not be an unsuspected, next victim, possible victim. We want everybody to know where the sex offenders are and where they live so you can be protected and be aware at all times. In Jamaica, it's illegal. It's private. So you have no idea if this person is on that list. You have no idea. All you left is just to wonder. And they come over here and they're on that damn list. So again, we're talking about these high numbers, bro. What year? First of all, it's bullshit. He's lying. But what year? And you'll see a mass influx of those folks over here.
So you got some shit to deal with. And so you better deal with looking in the mirror and see what you're calling a Black man as a white man in blackface. Now, if you want to get to being a Black man, you got to study the history of your African self.
Mm-hmm. There's no history, but that's the problem. We tried that and it came up no results found because there is no history of our African self. There's no African self. And I would love to know more about me being African in America. Nothing about us is African at all. We even did dashiki that one year. And what do Africans do? Hey, man, You're culture appropriating. Like they had a problem with it because they know we're not them and they're not like us. They know that. So we like, yeah, you got it. You right. You right. Why am I wearing this bullshit? You right. Let me go back.
You got to look at the work of those who have gone before you. And you can't belittle Fannie Lou Hamer by just calling her name and not seeing the work that Fannie Lou Hamer was doing. You can't talk about Malcolm X and not seeing the transformation that Malcolm went through. The point of Malcolm's life was to say, I brought myself through knowledge of self from the garbage can and the trash of white supremacy to an African man. The last name he took for himself is Omowale, the child who returned home.
Yes, sir.
Not Malik, okay? So we need to study history. And let me be clear, my FDA brothers and sisters, I love them. I am not going to abandon them. I am
No, thank you. They always do that. They disrespect us because, you know, he feeling himself. And as he calmed down, he realized there's only about a handful of these Pan-Africanists. And it's 43 million FBAs. So now he like, oh, I need them for support. And when I want to throw something, I need them to support it, you dig, financially, emotionally, in attendance. Damn. Y'all my family. No. No, stay over there.
To teach them. And I'm going to work to get them to see, because the ones I've met, these are not young people who hate Africa. They just
we don't hate Africa. Yo, why? Where is this narrative? Well, I know where it's coming from. You got countries of just scammers and thieves and liars and murderers. So we know where the lies come from. They come from themselves. But it's funny how everybody wants to switch the narrative. How it goes from we want to delineate. Everybody hold their own nuts. How does that translate to we hate Africa? Just weird, stupid people, man. We don't think about y'all. Nothing about y'all affects us at all. Now, we don't appreciate the people from Nigeria or Somalia over here in this country using their large social media, using their influence. How about that? Using their influence to make us look bad in the public for the world to see. Yeah, we definitely don't appreciate those characters, but we call them out by name. We don't hate Africa, but you know, if you keep saying it over and over and over, it becomes true. Now, telling the truth about Africa is not hating it. That's why we say, don't tell any lies about us, and we won't tell any truth about you, because we just tell the truth about Africa, and y'all take that as we hate Africa. We're like, no, it's the truth. Like, you're lying. You're acting like Africa's Wakanda. And we know it's, I ain't gonna say it.
don't friggin' know.
They don't know what they don't know.
When I spoke in DC and I talked about I'm an African, I'm an American, I named all the labels.
When did this guy speak in DC? Let me see. Is he talking about the Million Man March? Wait, when did he speak in DC? I'm gonna start fact checking these folks. What's his name? Baba? Professor Small. I'm gonna look this up. Professor Small spoke at DC. They always speaking. Okay, where is this speaking at DC? Where is it? There's no. Where's the evidence you spoke at DC? You're just doing lectures. It breaks down why. Where is the speech at DC? Come on, man. See, I didn't call you bluff. It's not there. But he spoke at DC though.
We can use, but at the end of that label, I'm an African. They cheered. It's just that nobody's explaining it to them. Nobody's showing them how to link it up.
Baba, let me make,
because those in the leadership don't know how to do it.
well, yeah. A part of that is that there's this plausible deniability. They're saying that there is no leadership, and I think that's
yeah, they don't understand what influence.
Hey, yeah, that bothers them. I didn't know how big of a deal that would be to some people. They are mad as hell that the person they want to be the leader so they could target somebody isn't the leader. Yo, that was genius for Tariq Nasheed to make it known, because you can't be a leader of a lineage. Like, who's the leader of white people? Like, stop. Who's the leader of Chinese people? Like, stop. So, because when he dies, who's the leader next? Like, you can't vote. There's no leader. There's no leader. We're humans. We can agree, disagree. Right. There's some things you're going to like about me, and there's some things you're going to learn about me you're going to not like. Okay? Just that simple. Same thing with Tariq and yourself. But I didn't know how big of a deal that would be to some people. That pisses them off, that who's your leader? Tariq's your leader. No, he's really not. And what is he leading? A lineage? Like, what is he leading? Okay, so, but that was big. That was deep. He's seen something early. That pisses them off. Now, all that tough talk he was doing just now, right, with these handful of Africans up top, he was talking real tough. Now look who pulls up, and watch his whole demeanor, watch his language change. He gonna cop so many pleas, yo. It was embarrassed. I cringed at this guy, how he just turned the other way. He didn't stand on no business. He had like no toes during this dialogue.
So now, recently, there was you were on a broadcast on a YouTube stream, and there was a dude who's kind of known in our circles as being a troll, and he gave you some real. He basically lied to you and gave you some misinformation about some of the stuff that we've said. And
okay, you see, so he's gone over the live stream that Professor look. And by the way, Tariq set him up because look, they were talking about the Maroons, they were talking about the indigenous Africans, they were talking about European explorers, and then he hit him with that. And this dude, look at, he's uncomfortable.
And then tried to use you against me, and some of these other trolls tried to use your words against me.
And he's calling his people trolls, and he's not defending them. And like they're looking like, damn, Baba.
How do you feel about that, sir?
Right. Well, part of it is the young man Omawale called me yesterday, and his position, he says, I wasn't the one putting that out there like that. And I said, what do you mean? I said because I couldn't find him. I had the name wrong.
Yeah.
And when I found the name in my phone, he called me just as I found the name. And he says, listen, because I did this little piece, I was trying to get it right on Twitter, calling people out for doing that, because I'm saying, wait a minute, that was not what really happened.
Right.
Now, he did raise these things about foundational Black America. And I go like, these are my children, I think is the term I use, and I love them. You got to understand. If I think my children have any issues, I'm going to argue with them to get the issues right. Right? If they made any statements wrong, then I'm not going to stab them in the back or talk to them about behind their back. I tell them my love for you, our relationship, and so forth. And whenever I have any issues, I talk to you about it. Sometimes you be quiet, sometimes you take me on, but we've never had a negative.
Right, of course.
You and I.
Of course.
And the things I disagree, and they ain't really big things. That's the issue. Well, then I really.
Wait, it sound like big things. You said the FBA is slop of the white man. That sounds big to me. Big. But look what he says the differences are now. Now Tariq pulled up on his ass. Now look at this fool. I'm sorry, look at this elder.
I argue with you about one thing, the N-word, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think you lose your temper a little bit too much on some of these Negroes who don't deserve you putting that energy on. And those have been our two issues.
Yeah.
And we deal with this going back. And I remember when you were having an issue, but I think we won't even call his name, but a little brother out there.
Yeah.
And I call you and I talk to you about it, and you squashed that.
Yeah.
There was an issue with some sister who was coming after you about some stuff. I called you this a couple of years ago. You squashed that. They didn't squash it, but you did.
Yeah.
So I have to let people understand and be clear, because I got some crazy calls from all over the.
All right. So right now he's choosing, right? He's choosing Tariq over his people. You squashed it, but they did. They They broke the peace treaty.
Well, when I was coming to Washington, you're not going there. I look at the wait a minute. I had to do like a real, almost had to do a Tariq Nasheed. I had to go up.
So he had to do a Tariq Nasheed. So he's just like, what is this called? What is this called he's doing? What is this called? Pause.
Some folks, who the hell are you to tell me where I go, who I speak with, and why?
Yeah, but the fact that they even are that comfortable to tell you can't go, that means you're surrounding yourself around a bunch of cult members, man.
If you called me and said, Brother Small, I heard something about Tariq, is that right? I would have told you, no, that ain't right. You know, you've been misinformed. And so when I did the show with the young people, because they'd call me, and I do a lot of shows with young people call me, and most of the times I don't know who they are beforehand, and a lot of times it's the first time. And so,
yo, he is glazing. I'm gonna just say it. I wasn't gonna say it, but he's glazing, yo. Now he don't even know them. Sometimes he call me, I don't even know them. Yo, now he don't know the folks who was there. He was on the phone with. Listen to this guy.
And most of the times I don't know who they are beforehand. Call me, and I do a lot of shows with young people call me, and most of the times I don't know who they are beforehand, and a lot of times it's the first time. And some have
a lot of times it's the first time. So he's copping all type of please. This dude is glazing. That's why you shouldn't be running your mouth where you got to come and embarrass yourself in this type of way. Damn, yo, this really made people feel a different way about him. Like, we had some respect for this guy before this right here. At least stand 10 toes down. Yeah, Tariq, this FBA is bullshit. It's divisive. At least do it like that. But to sit here and do a full 180, it's just cringe-worthy, man.
Get me out of pocket, you know, because they just want to say I got Professor Small on there and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And on this show, when the issue came up, and I told them, when I want to speak to you and make a criticism, I do it to your face. I'm not a backstabber, you know.
You're not a backstabber? Man, dude. If you ain't a backstabber, you must be a back shooter. You did, because you got him in the back because he was not there and you were going in. And you said he a type of leader that just leads the revolution on social media and click, you know, they got to click subscribe. You went in.
I'm going to tell you, and I'll say right out in the public, that I own it. That's how men do.
Right.
You know, that's how men be. And then we had a pretty, what I thought was a decent discussion with me explaining what Pan-Africanism is, explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and telling them I'm both.
Yo, this dude, yo, I couldn't believe he went this way out. I couldn't believe he went out like this. Yo, this is the third body. The first body was Fat Joe, right? And then it became Lord Jamar himself. And now it's Professor James Small. Damn. I can't believe he's going. They all went out bad. Fat Joe went out bad. Lord Jamar went out bad. And now Professor James Small is going out bad. Now he's saying he educated those folks that he claims he barely knew about what FBA is, when he just said it was slop.
Pan-Africanism. And then we had a pretty, what I thought was a decent discussion with me explaining what Pan-Africanism is, explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and telling them I'm both. Because to me, Pan-Africanism is how we unite.
Yo, I'm done. It's over. Hold the L. Your leader, your Baba, said he's FBA. Yo, remember he said he's not FBA? I'm Pan-Africanist. I'm an African. Yo, this dude just said I'm both. He said I am, but Pan-Africanist FBA, which we already knew exists. We know that there are atheist FBAs, Christian FBAs, Israelite FBAs, Muslim FBAs, Hoteper FBAs. We already know. There's some gay FBAs, there's some straight FBAs. We already know. There's women, men, obviously. kids and elders, grown folks, older. Bro, so we already know that you can, it's just a lineage. So all the good choices you make, you're just making them as an FBA person. All the bad choices you make, you can make them as an FBA person. Nothing changes. You just got a better fitting name. That's all.
The black people all over the world to be one force.
Right.
Now we can call it pan anything we want to. People tell them I'm both. And then we had a.
I'm a clip when he said he's not FBA, and I'm a clip when he said I'm both. He's FBA too. That is hilarious. I gotta clip that. I'm gonna do a dope intro, and you know Lord Jamar's gonna be in there. But I'm gonna do a dope intro.
Pretty what I thought was a decent discussion with me explaining what Pan-Africanism is, explaining what Foundation of Black American is, and telling them I'm both. Mm-hmm. Because for me, Pan-Africanism is how we unite the black people all over the world to be one force.
Right.
Now we can call it pan anything we want to, but all the pan means is unity, nothing else. Mm-hmm. And that Foundation of Black American, that we have a right to identify ourselves in the same way any other ethnic group. And I think I used the Jamaican community. They don't go.
Yo, this sounds like a whole different guy. So he should have just did this first and never did the other interview, and let those tethers put that tether battery in his back. He let those tethers put that tether battery in his back, and he jumped off the roof. So now he got to come back and do it the right way. So now he is making it right. He is making it right. Okay, because now he's dropping facts by FBA. So now all of a sudden he's FBA. What else, Baba?
The black people all over the world to be one force.
Right.
Now we can call it pan anything we want to, but all the pan means is unity, nothing else. Mm-hmm. And that Foundation of Black American, that we have a right to identify ourselves.
Oh yeah.
In the same way any other ethnic group, and I think I used the Jamaican community.
Okay.
They don't call themselves African; they call themselves Jamaicans.
Right.
The people from Haiti don't say I'm African; mm-hmm. They say I'm Haitian. And we find no contradiction with that. We're the only group in North America that use the term African to describe ourselves. And I always appreciated that word.
Yo, can you believe he just said that? He just said on the other show that three folks watched, he said, we're African, damn it. We're nothing else. We're African. And now he's admitting that nobody calls himself African. People call themselves from the landmass which they live in. If you live in Nigeria, you are Nigerian. If you live in Jamaica, you are Jamaican. Like now he's talking like that. He's making more sense now.
African American because
absolutely.
The people from Haiti don't say I'm African. Mm-hmm. They say I'm Haitian. And we find no contradiction with that. We're the only group in North America that use the term African to describe ourselves. And I always appreciated that word African American because African, when we left there, the Berlin Conference hadn't happened yet. Mm-hmm. And the place hadn't been chopped up into all of these names yet. Mm-hmm. Because this is one continent called Africa. And
oh my God. The Berlin Conference was what, 18? I forgot what year. Don't give me a line. 1882, but I think it's before then because 1882. That's post. Wait, it might have been 1882 because Nigeria was like taken over in 1901. Hey, let me see. I know I put Berlin. I don't know, whatever. Okay. Yeah, 1885. Wow, I'm actually all right. I still got it.
People. Now there can be some argument about the name, where that name come from. That's a good discussion because it's hard to really get to the source of it, even though I know what may be some problem.
And here's another little bit of trivial for you. Did you know that most of all these continental countries in Africa and the Caribbean, they all, not all, but a lot of them seem to got their independence at the same time. like during the 1960s. So like just do some research on a Caribbean country or African country that you know of. Just see where they got when they get the independence. And I'm telling you, don't be surprised if it says 1960. So that's not a coincidence. They all got their independence in 1960, or a large majority. Anyway.
Probable sources for the word Africa.
Right.
But when we come back to what happened when I was on the show, so bring it back to center, I give Omaweli credit in that he was man enough to call me yesterday and I said, well, what is your beef for Tariq? And he gave some critique about Pan-Africanism and your view on Pan-Africanism or attack of Pan-Africanism. And I gave him my view on you and what I think your view is. And I told him that, the work that you have done bespeaks itself. Now, they're trying to take you out of the picture with the work. Right, they said he used them other historians. No, even if that's all you did, right? If all you did was brought some historians together, and I think we're some of the best in our time, and you had us bring a lesson to our people, no friggin' body else had done that.
Right.
No one had done that. And you did it in a multiple series of topics that woke up the Black world. If you had only done that, I have to respect that. My argument with you was a simple argument. Don't let people defame the good work that you've done by engaging in conflict and argument with people that is not worthy of the work that you have done and the work that you're doing. But I say that to your face.
Absolutely.
We're brothers.
Absolutely.
You've been in my house.
Absolutely.
You've been in my home. My first time doing Hidden College, you flew me out to California. You know what I mean? And
yo, he ain't stopped talking since, yo. Let me come back to this. I'm getting a little tired. Let me get to this clown real fast. Cause we already watched the I played the James Small thing like 1,000 times today. I'll do it tomorrow too. So I'll play the whole thing tomorrow. You know how I do it. I go live in the morning or around like 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. I go live. I play a whole bunch of, just videos that some of them are old. So will y'all stop saying that on the damn live? I'm just playing videos like that I think are interesting. I watched all of them and I'll play them. Like, this was an interesting video. Or maybe I watched it during the time it was uploaded. And I just I like it. So I put it in my playlist. Yo, this video, so I got old videos mixed with new ones. You dig? So anyway, look at this clout. So this clout chaser right here, he has 172,000 views. All right. So that means when he makes a video, he should have minimum 50,000, 80,000, 100,000, views per video. He shouldn't be doing less than for around unbiased, right? Now with 172,000 subscribers, this guy. Okay, well, so this just ended. It's now look, and he had a controversial popping topic, foundational Black Americans. He got 1.5K. I did my live earlier today. I had 1.2K. You know what the difference is? I only got like 1,400 subscribers. This guy got 172. So he's trying. So now he's the clout chaser. So he's saying FBAs are clout chaser, doing for money. Meanwhile, dude, this is your second video in a row about FBAs. So I want to just point out real fast how he's a failure. This guy got 170,000 views. I'm sorry, he got 170,000 subscribers. And he's doing the same views as myself. Matter of fact, let me click on this. Let me see how many likes he got on this video. Look at this. That's what I did today. Okay, this is bad for 172,000 subscribers. This is bad. He should have 50,000. So like he got all these dead shell subscribers and he can't find a way to pull them in to watch his content. So he's trying to just throw spitballs at the wall and see what's stuck, see what sticks. But this is a failing man. All right. What? So this was his first video. What was it about? What is he talking about?
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
You know, I'm trying to figure out why these people on the internet is mad at me for my opinions.
Okay. All right. So let's go back. So maybe this wasn't the first video. So I'm trying to find his first shoot. I'm trying to find his first video that he did about us. All right. Just trying to find it. He put it in here. Oh shit. I'm on my channel, right? Like an idiot. I gotta go to his channel. Wait, what just happened? Okay. All right. New breed talk FBA, but teach black men to marry. Okay, is that the video? I don't know. And you know what's funny? I think, yeah, this is a weird coincidence. I believe this is who I think. How long has this guy been on the internet? Because I believe this guy has been as long as me on the internet. And I believe I called him out 12, 13 years ago. Because that name just sounds too familiar. I think I called this, I made a video. I got a documented video. I know it was Ringo something. The person I called out was Ringo something. And he's an Israelite. This got to be a guy called out 12 years ago. Amazing. All right, but what is he talking about? What's he babbling about?
Just sharing my truth. And they mad. Now, I don't know if the quality is good.
So again, I'm gonna play all this stuff tomorrow in its full. You know how I do. I'm gonna play a little bit more and I'm out. But yeah, do me a favor, guys. Go ahead and just take a little time out to click the like button. You dig?
Trying to do something a little different, but let me know if the quality is good or if it's
Dudes talk.
Walmart.
I was gonna say this. I guarantee you he's not gonna say anything.
But yeah, I don't understand that, man. Found a Chinese restaurant. Pretty much want to try it, see what's going on. Because for whatever reason, I shared my thoughts about what I believe in. That the whole FBA movement is pretty much bullshit. Like when you really think about it. They busy calling me tethers and all this other stuff. And I keep telling y'all, man, it's like the whole movement that they talking about, it really just caused nothing but division. That's all it caused, is division amongst black people. Because we're just busy fighting one another because of some damn disagreement, and it's stupid. Because you don't believe what I believe, I don't believe what you believe. It doesn't make no damn sense.
Yeah, they just talk in circles. They never get to the point. they just keep talking. And there's no punctuation marks in their speech, just talking over everything.
Like, why? It didn't make no damn sense. People crazy, man.
Ain't saying that.
Nothing. Y'all busy out here wasting your damn time. Nothing. Are we able to get bread? If we ain't making no money, I don't want to hear nothing. Because all I'm looking at is who's making the money. Is Tariq making the bread? Because if his pocket...
Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go with the pocket watching. Here we go. All right, so let's do it.
Is getting fat and my pockets is getting empty by buying damn books and going to damn near seminars and all this other...
Okay, so all those books Baba got, is he broke and the author of those books just rich? All right, let's go.
But nonsense, and I ain't getting no bread? Nah, y'all getting played. Just like the pastors, just like these preachers that are in these churches, and they taking all the people's money, you know? The pastor's the one who's rich. He making all the money.
So he's comparing a pastor who gets tithes
while you broke. Think about that. The pastor's in the church making the money while you are broke. The pulpit pimp, he busy getting his bread. And you out here defending a movement and you ain't making no money. Make that make sense. You ain't making no money, but you figure, you know what? Let me attack this dude because he's speaking against my belief system. So my question to you is this. Is FBA a religion? Do you have a set of laws and commandments that you have to follow as an FBA? Because they call me a tether. So I'm like, if I'm already an enemy, then I'm gonna just do content, you know, and make people mad. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Because if we're supposed to be black people, shouldn't we be sticking together? Shouldn't we be working together? What has FBA done for the black community in terms of ridding the crime and the violence?
All right, yeah. All right. So again, I'm gonna play most of this stuff tomorrow. Actually, all of it tomorrow, in sequence. So I'm gonna do, like I did today, I'm gonna do Baba talking SHIT. Then I'm gonna show Baba taking it all back, glazing. Then I'm gonna play this video right here and probably an Umar video, Marcus Garvey video. I don't know, but something like that. Anyway, I'm out of here. It's already late. Now, look, by the way, I was not going live on anything FBA related because I was like kind of like got home late, you know, all that stuff. I had a lot of stuff in the background. But when chat told me about Ringo, I looked him up. Yeah, I believe that this is a guy I made a video about 12 years ago, 13 years, for the same type of behavior.
And all the bloodshed and everything else that goes along with it. What has it done? Did it do anything? Did it fix anything? It ain't fixed nothing. So it's like, what the hell are we getting mad for? What are we getting upset for? Because...
All right, family, we out. All right, because he really ain't talking. So I'm going to, he's not making sense. He's not making sense at all. So I'm going to play all this same video. I'm play this tomorrow, whole in full, and you'll see. All right, peace. I appreciate y'all. Click the like button. That's all. I'm not asking for a cash app, super chat, donation. All I'm asking for is you to click the like button. All right.